So this week I decided that, or this month, we're going to talk about this topic, for as long as we need to. And the topic for us is going to be finding the message in your mess. Finding the message in your mess. Because a lot of times, things will happen to us in life that are messy. I'm so proud of him for speaking out on it. So a lot of times things will happen, to us in life. We will go through situations and not learn the lesson in it because we get so caught up in the woe is me. And it's a point in our lives where we have to realize that there is a message mixed in with that mess. Rich Risings, Chrissy. There's a message mixed in with, the mess of everything. And in order for us to learn this message, we have to start to shift our minds to see things a little more positively. And so, one of the things, one of the takeaways that I want us to learn from this is that it is possible for us to turn a mess into a message. That, our test can turn into our testimony. Rich Rising, Surreal Life. A trail of unfortunate events that we experience can turn into our triumph. And, when we go through these things, when things are happening, whether you see things as happening to you or you see things as happening for you, we can shift our mentality from being a victim to being the victor, right? It could be our victory. So I wanted to spend some time, thank you. I wanted to spend some time, talking about the importance of finding the message in the mess. Because I just think that that's something that is so, so important. So, regardless of who you are, if you're a human being, if you are a living, breathing, functioning human being, I can guarantee you that you're going to make a mistake. I can guarantee you that life is going to life, and that each and every one of us have a story to tell. Okay? Each and every one of us have a story to tell. Every single person has fallen on their face before. We all have a skeleton or two in our closet. You know what I'm saying? We have people that we've dated that we wish we never dated. Some of us have been in relationships with people where we're filled with regrets. The world is one big crowd of messy misfits, right? The world is full of them. And so we have to begin to, like I said, shift our mentality to see things differently. We have to begin to understand that it's a choice for us to sit in a negative space, that we can choose to be happy, that we can choose the positivity. That way, we can learn the lesson and move on. Because I don't know about y'all, but I don't want to sit stuck in a space. I want to learn the lesson. I want to get what I need to get and I want to get out, right? What this means, when you turn when you find the message within the mess, that means that you choose to make your difficult experience into a productive, positive, and helpful message that benefits not only you, but others. Sometimes, there are things that we can do in life that will bless that next generation. And maybe that person won't have to go through that. You know what I mean? Because honestly, you guys, what we do with our mess matters. We shouldn't be the only one to learn from our mistakes. We should not be the only ones to learn from our mistakes. There are plenty of people out there in the world who want to know that they're not by themselves. If at all possible, once we figured out the message within our mess, we have to remember that there was a message in our mess and the importance of now spreading that message. And again, we do that on our terms. We do that with our own boundaries, our own, we put our own terms on that. So I'm not saying that you have to share everything, right? You got to use some discernment. You got to make some choices on your own. But we should, you know what I'm saying? We should share with other people in a sense of letting them know, you know what, you're not the only one. That, hey, you know what, this has affected me too. Because no matter who you are, no matter what it is you're going through, someone else is also experiencing this. And they might not be, as strong as you. So we want to, again, find the message in our own mess, and then we want to spread that message to be an inspiration to others. So, we have to realize that no matter how messy a situation is, like I said, there's a message in it. So whether it is, you experiencing issues of abandonment, abuse, it could be a miscarriage, it could be some other medical illness, addiction, divorce, a job loss. You could have gotten cheated on. I don't know. I mean, just whatever topic that you can think of. Rich Rising Kale, Rich Rising Humble, welcome in. Whatever the issue, whatever messy situation that we can put forth out there, there's a message in that. There's always a message in it. Thank you, bro. So there's this quote that I came up with when I was doing some research. Thank you. And there was a quote that I came across by Ralph Waldo Emerson. And the quote says, "The purpose of life is not to be happy. It is to be useful, to be honorable, to be compassionate, and to have it make some difference that you lived and that you lived well." I'm going to read that again. The purpose of life is not to be happy. It is to be useful, to be honorable, to be compassionate, and to have made a difference, some difference that you have lived and that you have lived happy. You lived well. And I thought that was a really good quote and on target for the topic. So we're going to talk about 4 steps that you can take to help you begin to find the message within your mess. First things first. When you're experiencing a situation, when you're in the thick of a situation, or even when we're reflecting on something that has happened, right? the first thing that we need to do is take a step back. Because when we are in the middle of it, when we're going through it, when we're in the thick of it, sometimes we can't see all of it, right? Have you guys ever been standing in a room, and then when you walk out the room, you realize how big the room is? You see the magnitude and the size of this space once you're outside of it, right? So sometimes we need to take a step back. And in taking a step back, when we're looking at situations that have happened to us in our past, things that we have sometimes tried to bury, sometimes taking a step back means self-reflection, right? Sometimes we have to go back to it. And again, I'm going to say the importance of doing so within a safe space and making sure that you also have support. Because if you're going to start some sort of shadow work, if you're going to start unpacking trauma, you need a support system. Whether that is a paid therapist, whether that's a life coach, whether that is a, sister circle, like a trusted group of friends or family that you have, you're gonna need support. Because each and every one of us are going to require people to lean on as we start to look for the message within our mess. So again, we're going to take a step back. We're going to take a step out of the situation. We're going to start to do some self-reflection, take a step back in time. It might even be necessary for us to draw out a timeline. I know you guys remember in school early on, they always make you do this, this timeline of your life, right? Sometimes when we're doing this, it is necessary for us to begin with a timeline, because sometimes our mess goes back to childhood, and we need to kind of figure that out. So on one end of this timeline is birth, the day we were born, right? The day that our worth was first established. And so when we draw this timeline, you will start with the day you were born, your one and only actual birth date. And with that birth date, you are going to write the first day I was worthy, the day that I became worthy, the day my worth was established. Because we're going to begin this messy journey with purpose, and we're going to see that along this way, even before anything happened to us or for us in life, that we came into this world worthy and complete. We just needed a little help from our parents along the way, or from our grandparents along the way, or from our aunties and uncles and siblings. And we just needed help from the adult people to get to the point where we became self-sufficient adults. So we're going to make this timeline that starts at birth, where our worth was initially established. And then at the other end of this timeline, it is going to be today, present day. And you are going to begin to list all the defining moments that you can think of. Now, you can start from today and work backwards. You can start from the beginning and work forward. You can randomly put dates in between as things come to your mind. But you want to begin to fill this timeline with defining moments. And you want to be sure to jot down as many messes that pop up into your mind. Sometimes it means you gotta take a walk down memory lane, look through some old photos. You're gonna look for some things that you find helpful for you to get to the root of a mess. Okay, and so you're going to, think of things, if you're You're going to use like certain sentences to help you kind of pick out the messy situations. And so when you're looking through things and when you're working on this timeline and you start to think of things that says, I would never want anyone to go through blank like I did. That is a mess. Okay? Each and every one of us have a situation where we would say, I would never want anyone to go through this. Let me see some green hearts. If you know that there are situations in your life where you would say, I would never want anybody to go through this. I see you. Because at this point in our life, there are always things we can look back at to be like, I sure hope nobody else has to go through this. I would never want anybody to experience this, right? Or how about the sentence, it took me a long time to get over blank, right? It's taken me years to get past this situation. Or it took me forever to get out of this relationship. I wouldn't wish that on anybody. You have experienced that too, right? Rich Risings, Wanda, welcome in. You are just in time to find the message in your mess today. So that was our first step, okay? Our next step is to embrace your ugly. I'm going to say that again, and this has nothing to do with vanity. Embrace your ugly. I didn't say embrace it, you are ugly. Okay? What I want you to do is to embrace the dark spaces. I want you to embrace the messy parts. I want you to embrace the situations that have happened for you. This is the space and the part where we get to let go of the guilt tied to these ugly things. This is the point where we get to let go of the shame that comes with these messy tales of our lives. This is the point where we get to let go of embarrassment. This part of the journey is where we start to turn our pain into power. You're going to take back your power and know that someone else is inevitably done the same thing that you did. Someone else is going through the same situation that you are or that you did. So we're going to let go of the shame, the hurt, the frustration, the guilt, the embarrassment. We're going to let it all go. The next step in finding the message in your mess is to share it. I need y'all to get comfortable talking about the messy things. We have to get comfortable about speaking about these messy things. We can't continuously sweep the mess under the rug. And for some of us, these messes have been swept under the rug for years. We have, for years, kept secrets within our families because many of us were raised on the notion of what happens in this house stays in this house. Not realizing how messy some of our houses were growing up. And because we have enabled these people to get away with creating these messes, these little fires everywhere, we have to begin to start to talk about it. We have to begin to heal from it. We have to begin to make these people be held accountable. So we have to, begin to share not share the mess in the sense of dumping it in someone else's lap, but share our story surrounding the mess, right? We got to get vulnerable. And so we talk about it being the mess, right? We bring it to light. When we bring our things out, when we start to bring our mess out into the open, that mess no longer has power over us. When you begin to bring things out into the open, it no longer holds a claim over you. And ultimately, that thing that has held us confined and restricted loses its power. And so we start to turn our pain into our power. And then the last suggestion that I have for you is to flip your failures into benefits. My sister doesn't call it a failure. She calls it a misstep. So we're going to flip our missteps into benefits. And if Jesus can turn water into wine, I'm going to say that again, water into wine, why we can't flip these situations to be for ourselves? Why can't we turn our failures into a benefit? Why can't we take our power back? Like, what's stopping us? When we're in the situation, even when we're in the thick of it, we have to stop and ask ourselves, what teachable moments are hidden here? Like, when I really get to the bottom of this shit, what teachable moment do I have sitting here in this mess? What can I take away from it? Because listen, I done gave time, I done gave energy, I done spent money on this mess, this crappy situation, right? And I can't get that back. I can't get my time back. I can't have my energy back. So if I dig through this, what can I salvage from this experience, from this mess? Can I take those teachable moments and then be an advocate for the next person? Can I walk somebody else who's in a season of hurt through and help them navigate their way out of this painful place? Can the time that I spent in bondage allow me to help another person be released from theirs? Shame cannot survive inside of you. It doesn't belong there. When I see my brother or my sister going through a situation that's similar, I should show empathy. I should be able to show them compassion. You know how they make the comment, before you judge a man, walk a mile in their shoes? I need to be able to look down at the generations that come after me who tend to be making the same mistakes I am. Or, when I look at a young mother, okay? When I look at a young mother making mistakes, I shouldn't judge her. Even though I too may have been a young mother at some point, right? But I have to understand that her journey, her path wasn't mine. But if I can see sis is headed down this same path that I did, sometimes it's necessary for us to be like, hey, it's okay. I see you. And I know that sometimes in this younger generation, they don't receive our message purposely. You know what I'm saying? They be a little quick to clap back when we try to pour into them. But that doesn't mean we don't try to pour into them, right? So I mean, yeah, we got to start to flip our failures into benefits. And even if we don't feel like flipping the failure into a benefit benefits us, we have to hold true to know that it is going to benefit somebody. It is going to bless somebody. Okay? So just understand that your mess matters. But what you do with your mess matters even more. Again, your mess matters. But the thing that is the most important about our mess isn't the mess itself. It is what we choose to do with our mess. Sometimes God redeems your story by surrounding you with people who need to hear your story. So that way your past doesn't become their future. So understand that all of these messes that we have experienced, all of these things that we have continuously had to clean up throughout our life, that is our assignment. We all have a different story, and our story is supposed to be told. Our story is supposed to be shared. And so we have to understand that now we have this divine assignment to, again, not allow our past to be somebody else's future. So I've got some homework for y'all. I know how much y'all miss all this homework. Y'all miss this homework. So I want you guys to, grab yourself a paper and a pencil. Honestly, y'all might want to go ahead and get a whole notebook, because I'm going to give different assignments for people to work on. And if you are serious about finding the message in your mess, these are things that you can do to help yourself. So you're going to get a pencil and paper, and I want you guys to create a list of the defining messes in your life. Remember that timeline we talked about? At the beginning of the timeline, you're going to go all the way back to the day your worth was established, the day you were born, right? Your original one and only birth date. And I want you to begin to make a timeline of all of the messy situations that have occurred in life. This is going to be a timeline like no other. Okay? I guarantee you, unless you've done this assignment, this will be the first timeline of this kind that you've created. Because over the years, other people want you to talk about birthdays and events and occasions. Them ain't the things that I want you to talk about. I want you to create a list of people that have, or situations, or when you first encountered people who brought mess into your life. Okay? I want you to chart every possible messy, toxic, just, I can't stand his ass situation. Right? Thank you, Kale. Rich Risings, Mr. J. So I want you guys to chart all of the messes in your life, okay? Every possible messy situation that you can. And that's going to take a little bit of time, because we done all been through some things. And don't worry, my list is long. Your list might be long. And it's okay. And you know what? You're going to get to the end of the list, and then you're going to back up and think of some more things. It's okay, because this is going to be an ongoing assignment. just like that timeline had a beginning, and because we're still alive, it doesn't have an end, this assignment will not have an end. This is going to be an ongoing assignment for us to work through our mess. Okay? So when when we're comfortable enough that we have this long list of mess, I want you guys to think of the people that are currently in your life that thank you, are experiencing a similar mess. Right? I want you to think of all the generations that have come after you that may be dealing with this mess or could simply experience some of these situations, right? And I want you to start to list those people that, if given the opportunity, you would never want them to experience any of the things that you've listed out. And I want you to begin to think about how you could help these people, how you could help the next person. So, for example, I'll use the subject of being a young mom again. If one of the things that you have written down on this list was being a teen mom struggling, a single teen mom struggling, right? And you can think of that child that you raised, your daughter, and you see your daughter making some of the same mistakes that you did, and you're concerned that maybe my almost teenage daughter might end up a teen mom like me. And oh, baby, I can answer that for you. It's because we're well taken care of. It's because we're queens and we don't struggle. It's because we're well taken care of and we're provided for. That's why. Moving on. So, when you can look at, maybe my daughter might go down the same path that I did. We've got to say, you know what? Maybe me sharing my mess with her might bless her. Not that we want her to feel like she's the mess, that she's the problem. We just want her to be able to see things for how it is, and hopefully we avoid her from doing the same type of struggle. You guys get what I'm saying, right? So we're going to make a list of people that we feel like we would never want to experience these things that we've listed out. And we're going to start to think of how can we help them. And like I said, maybe it's as simple as sharing our story. For people who have generationally been abused by the same relative, years of this person being verbally abusive, physically abusive, mentally abusive, we're going to begin to shine a light. And like I told you guys, you're going to need support. We are not meant to go through life alone. And if you are unpacking generational curses, you need support. Lots and lots of support. So, again, if you're working and you have access to, insurance, utilize your therapy, utilize your mental health benefits. If your employer offers EAP services, which is Employee Assistance Program, check into it. A lot of them, ever since COVID especially, have resources available to you for mental health. And most of them give you so many sessions free. I think on average it's like anywhere between 6 and 10 sessions for free. Start to get help, you guys. So that way you can start finding the message in the mess. But yeah, so to finish off your homework assignment, you're going to make a list. You're going to start to chart the mess so we can start to get to the root of these problems. We're going to then start to list out the people that we want to help, the people that we don't want to experience this list of things that we've just talked about, right? We're going to start to think, how can I, little old me, how can I help the next person? And what are some ways that I can show up for them and be in their corner? Don't waste your mess, you guys, okay? Turn your mess into your message. Let your story, let the tale of your past bless someone else in the future. Let it help someone. And the big thing, the biggest thing that I want to end on is that, for all of us, we're all messy. We've all experienced mess. We all go through mess. So we all have messy tendencies, you guys. And the people with the biggest messes, listen, that means they have the best stories. And one thing that I've learned in my 44 years of living is that God is really good at cleaning up our messes. And that the more I focused and connected with the universe, the easier it became for me to navigate my mess. And when I really started unpacking my mess, it became clear for me that I needed to share my mess with as many people as possible, because I wanted to turn my mess into a message. So much so that I even embraced not only a self-care lifestyle, but I began to push the button and go live and tell my story to strangers. That I invested in myself and took courses for life coaching, because it became crystal clear to me, honestly clearer than anything else ever in my life, that in order for me to go through life, I had to begin to grow through all of the things that I am going through. And that in order for me to grow, that I needed to cultivate my mess. I'm not going to feed the mess. I'm not going to sit in my pain. But I am going to take that pain and use that pain as fuel so that I can turn my pain into power. So just remember, like I said, God has a way of turning our mess into a message. We just have to be open to learn the lesson. All right, so we're going to pause there. We're going to leave that sit right there. That's a lot of knowledge, right? That was a lot of knowledge for us to kind of go through. But just understand that we have more. And like I said, we're going to spend as much time as we need to on this, because I don't know about you guys, but I am seriously tired of sweeping the mess under the rug. And I really want us to start to get through these things. And I'm a firm believer that we can't get through these things by ourselves. When they said it takes a village, they weren't just referring to raising children. Because we also have to understand that we once were the children that the village had to raise. So it takes a village to get through life, you guys. So it is time for us to activate our sister circles. It is time for us to create these groups, these safe spaces for our brothers. It is time for us to unite together to open the door to the healing that we all deserve. So we are going to begin to unpack some of these tough things. And I'm not going to tell you guys it's going to be easy. Healing, I don't know who lied. Healing is not easy. Healing is not easy, but it is not impossible. Because we remember that the word impossible says, I'm possible. So remember, healing is not impossible because I'm possible. Okay? All right, so we are going to end with our breathing exercise. This is the point during the live where I encourage you to get comfortable in a seated position. And if you are driving, you can still participate. Just do not close your eyes, my love. But for everyone else, I want you to get comfortable in a seated position. If you are still in bed, it is okay. Relax. And I'm going to guide you through a 5-minute breathing exercise where I want you to focus on your breath. You are going to breathe in from your nose and out from your mouth. You should hear the breath. That's how you know it's working. So again, keep calm. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Breathe in. Breathe out. 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 Inhale positivity. Exhale negative energy. Inhale. Exhale. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale positive energy. Exhale negativity. Breathe in. Let it go. Breathe in. Let it go. Breathe in. Breathe out. And as we continue to take each breath in, we're going to think of positive thoughts. And when I say let it go, we are going to begin to let go all of these messy situations. Breathe in. Let it go. Breathe in. Let them go. Breathe in. Let it go. Breathe in. Let it go. Last breath. Take a deep breath in. Hold it. Let it go. Five minutes a day. Breathe in for a count of 5. Exhale for a count of 5. If you find yourself experiencing anxiety, stress, frustration in your mess, you can also do what's called a 4 for 4 for 4, where you breathe in on a count of 4 or 5. You hold it for a count of 4 or 5. You exhale for a count of 4 or 5, and then you hold it. Because with every breath that we take in, we want to breathe in positive energy. We want to sit with it for a moment. We want to hold it. And then when those negative thoughts come to mind, we want to let them go. So we want to just push them out, let them go. And we want to sit in that space and hold it. So as always, I thank you guys for being here. I want you guys to truly understand that I appreciate each and every one of you. I want to thank you for your presence, not just the gifts that you have shared with me during the live today. I want you guys to understand that it is okay to be a little messy. It is okay for us to have gone through mess. We are going to begin to find the message in our mess. We are going to begin together to heal. We are going to keep going through and growing through all of these things that we are going through. I absolutely positively love you guys, and I appreciate each and every one of you for being here. And I'll see you next time. Thank you.